Yep, we're good.
Are you?
Right.
Okay, your people here? Okay.
I think we're ready.
Okay. My name is Greg Jones, the Chief of Police in New Albany, Ohio. This has been a very tragic situation. Our thoughts go out to the victims, their families, and everybody that works at this facility. This is something that we hope that would never happen in our community, but we prepare for it, and this is where we are now. To give you a little bit of background, it's a large building, and that at this point, we have one confirmed fatality. We have 5 that were transported to the hospital. Their conditions, I'm not able to comment on their conditions at this point. We have a person of interest, and we are working to locate them and bring them into custody. And again, this is quite a tragedy, and it's really a fluid situation and the investigation's really just begun.
Is the person of interest an employee?
I can't really comment at this point on that.
You said 5 people transported. Did that include the person who passed away?
No.
So 6 people with
6
gunshot
total.
wounds?
6 total.
With gunshot wounds?
Yes.
Okay, one of those.
Yeah, and
6.
again, this is fluid, this is very preliminary information, so some of it might change as we learn more, obviously. Again, it's a very large building, and we've just begun to really start the investigation.
Is the person who died an employee of the warehouse?
The person who passed away was in the building. Their identity has not been confirmed yet.
Are you able to share the ages of the victim or victims or the age range?
No, not at this point. We're still gathering information. They went to different hospitals. We have officers at those hospitals. At this point, our focus is on making sure that we have this building secure, that we're able to obtain the proper search warrants to search the location and get that investigative process started. But again, we have officers with all the victims, so we'll have that information hopefully soon.
Is this suspect believed to be in an area that would put other people at danger they should be aware of? Again,
this is very preliminary, but the person of interest, we believe we may know their location. We don't have any reason to believe that they are a general threat to society, more that it appears at this point to be a targeted type of attack.
Do you know if that person is armed?
The
person of interest.
The person of interest, we did recover a firearm at the scene.
What kind of firearm?
I really can't comment at this point, but I'll be able to provide that at a later time.
Any indication of where this person is now?
We do have a location, however, they are not in custody. We do not have them in custody, so I really can't add much more at this point. Just for the simple fact that we need to make sure they're in custody before we can comment anymore, for nothing else, for the officer's safety.
Do you know if this was a domestic violence-related situation?
We don't have a motive at this point, no.
It seemed like there were a lot of people that were still inside the building, and they were getting them out. Can you talk about the process of getting all those people out, and about how many people there were?
Yes. When we arrived, there were people that were self-evacuating the building, and then we have obviously a lot of people in the building. Some of them in the facility, the noise level is pretty high, so some people were unaware of the situation. Again, it's a large building, so we were able to muster everybody and take them to a neighboring building where they are all gathered now.
Have families of the victims or the employees that are being held been notified?
They all have. We have officers with them, so I don't know exactly. We haven't had time to notify the family of the injured or the deceased. We're working to do that now. As far as the people that have been taken to the other building, we're talking at least 150 people, and we have officers there working with them. I'm not sure where we are with that process. Again, it's a neighboring building. It's about 400 yards away.
Are those employees giving any information as to what they witnessed?
Yeah, there are witnesses that have provided information to us.
Can you explain where this took place in the warehouse? Was it in a very open space, a closed-off area?
I don't have that information. I know that when we cleared the building, we obviously had officers that located the injured and the deceased. I don't have that location. I can tell you that the nature of the building, it has a lot of open spaces.
You said there were 150 people in the building?
I was estimating. So, I would say that about 150 people were evacuated to a neighboring building.
What time did the call come in?
I don't have that exact time. I can get that for you.
The people who were evacuated, are they still being held on site right now, or have they been released?
The people that were evacuated are still on site.
Okay.
The officers are in the process of making sure that we have all their information to contact them at a later time, and also interviewing them. With a number of them, there's a language barrier, so it's taking a little bit longer than you might expect.
If families are watching right now, worried about their loved ones, knowing that they were here at the time of the shooting, what would you say to them?
I would just say that, look, we had the ones, the one that's deceased, and we have the ones that were transported. Everybody else seems to be in good health. Again, a lot of them didn't know what happened. They weren't aware of it until they were evacuated. We have them, they're in a neighboring building. They're warm. They can contact their relatives, and we're doing the most we can to make sure they're comfortable.
Are you actively looking for more than one suspect at this time, or just the one?
No, at this point, it appears to be, our information we have now is that there's one.
And is New Albany the lead agency?
Yeah, we'll be the lead agency. I can also just tell you that you can probably see from the scene that we have gotten a tremendous amount of help from our neighbors, the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, the Licking County Sheriff's Office, Pataskala, Gahanna, Johnstown, and I probably have missed some agencies, but we've all come together. We have in both counties. The city sits in both counties, and other agencies in both counties have been tremendously supportive.
Are you aware of any sort of altercation that happened inside the facility, either before or during this?
We've not had any reports of any altercation beforehand or afterwards.
Anything we didn't ask you that we should have?
No, it's just that, again, this is a tragedy that we had, obviously, it's happened across the United States. We had hoped it would never happen here, and that we're working to make sure that the victims are taken care of and that the suspect is apprehended.
Just for our knowledge, how do you plan to give updates moving forward?
I think we'll work with Josh Pullen, our PIO, and I would assume that at some point in time it would be we'll have a press conference. But I think we'll work with our PIO. I think everybody has his contact information, and we'll kind of give you a plan moving forward after that.
One more logistical question, because I have seen families showing up trying to pick up their loved ones.
Yeah.
Are they able to do that? When are they able to do that, if you know, just to get people that information?
Yeah, we have multiple detectives with the employees. We have no intentions of keeping them any longer than we have to. If they once they gather their information and they're able to interview them, I'm sure they'll be released at that point.
And other than the deceased victim, we don't know the status of the other victims that are in the hospital?
No, I don't have a status on the other ones. I think that we'll have that in a relatively short period of time as far as the general status goes.